Sir, would you like to buy a watch?
Kid, can you shower with this watch?
I'm selling a watch, not soap.
It's the 1 volts!
Being poor, if everyone could choose, no one would be born poor, and anyone who says they like being poor is lying. Saying you like being poor is like saying you like having a stomachache. Because just like having diarrhea is a pain, being poor is a lot of work. But being poor teaches you skills that rich people have to pay to learn. For example, when something breaks, rich people just buy a new one.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to inform you that a glass cup fell on the floor and scratched the kitchen's porcelain tile.
Oh, what a shame.
We'll have to buy another mansion and move. Please arrange the move for today.
Yes, ma'am.
The poor still use an old refrigerator from when people barely knew how to use bathrooms. It's already covered in patches. A brick propping it up underneath so it doesn't tip over. The inside light bulb has already burned out and they're using a candle. Whenever something breaks, the poor person is the one who goes and fixes it. Well, fixes is a strong word, right? He rigs something up, but don't joke, that thing gets really cold, you know? There's no modern fridge in the world that gets colder than a poor person's fridge. The only bad part is when it's time to defrost because that thing freezes up all the way to the top. And then you have to unplug it until the ice melts. And there's that mess with cold water that you have to keep throwing out. It's such a hassle. Rico's fridge has dry ice. Rico is so fancy he even has dry ice and powdered water.
This way, he doesn't need to dry anything indoors.
But speaking of fridges, inside the poor person's fridge, it's also very different from Rico's fridge. Rico's fridge only has top quality food and drinks. Even inside the fridge, everything is neatly packed in its containers, labeled and organized. A poor person's fridge is basically like a trash can. The only difference is that inside the fridge it's cold. Because in my fridge, you find a lemon that's been in there for so long, just abandoned. Since it hasn't been used, squeezing it will probably make it fart instead of give juice. There are always lids from other pots, either too big or too small, and you never have the right size. And there's something I don't get. Why put the glass pot inside the fridge? And even worse, why put the lid on if the fridge is closed? Man, you want to see a tough moment in a guy's life? It's when he leaves a cut onion in the middle of the fridge. Imagine the agony, going to drink water and it tastes like onion. You go to eat the leftover pasta, it tastes like onion. You go to eat a piece of salami, it tastes like onion. Then when you eat the onion, it tastes like that old rotten lemon the onion drained. If global trash is rising, blame the rich, not the poor. Poor people actually save trash at home. They keep saving things they'll never need in their life. While the rich, whenever they buy something, throw away the packaging, throw away the container, and even throw away the product when it has a problem, the poor are different. The company makes an ice cream container, sells it, then waits for it to be returned in the trash to recycle and reuse for more ice cream, right? Unfortunately, the poor person takes and keeps the container, and there's no limit to how many they'll keep. Everything goes straight into the fridge with anything you can imagine except ice cream. They store rice, beans, pasta, anything that fits in the container. Then the poor person keeps a bunch of useless, burned out phone chargers and wires they'll never use. Not to mention a bunch of plastic bags from the times they bought bread or went to the market. And when they finally go to use one of those bags, it smells like old moldy bread mixed with laundry detergent and bleach. And I don't know why poor people keep so many plastic bottles. They fill 3 and put them in the fridge, leaving about 20 more under the sink for someone to accidentally kick and spill, then have to clean up. And poor people are way too thrifty, man. When he gets a gift, he doesn't tear the wrapping paper. No, he's really careful so he can save it and use it later when he gives someone a present. It's almost like the real gift wasn't what was inside, but the wrapping paper itself. Until recently, it was common for poor people to have lots of pirated DVDs or scratched unusable CDs. But he never throws them away as if he thinks the scratch will vanish and the CD will work again. When you open a digital versatile disc case, there are several CDs stacked together and the person can't tell them apart. There's so much useless stuff poor people keep, I could make a whole video about it. What really makes me angry is when poor people buy something new and leave the plastic on. Rich people enjoy buying new things mainly for the thrill of removing the plastic wrapping. Peeling the plastic off the television screen slowly is oddly satisfying. For poor people, oh Big Siga, it's agonizing. They just grab the television remote. There's that old plastic getting in the way of pressing the button, slipping out of your hand. You go sit on the couch and that plastic noise from Big Siga, and it feels like at any moment the person is begging. If you ask to take it off, they won't let you. They say it's to preserve it. After a year, the plastic is ripped, so you remove it. Meanwhile, the person who tried to protect the couch never gets it cleaned in 30 years. There are so many critters living inside that couch that if there's ever another flood, the animals going to the ark will all come out of that couch. A rich person's house is quiet because wealthy people with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder need silence to concentrate.
Dang, I can't concentrate.
What's the problem, sir?
Can you hold your breath for a bit? You're breaking my concentration and I need to finish withdrawing this money here.
But sir, if I stop breathing, I could suffocate and die.
Relax, I have the contact of another butler. If that happens, you don't need to worry about me.
What?
But poor people have to deal with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder all the time. Because damn, just think about the noise in a poor person's house. First, it seems like everyone thinks the television is a radio because the television stays on by itself with nobody in the room at a ridiculous volume. And if someone turns it off, someone else yells that they were listening to it. The dogs bark nonstop at anyone passing by or any car or motorcycle noise. They do this all day. If someone shouts, "Catch the thief," they're the first to flee. Meanwhile, one person sings in the shower and the other talks on the phone, which wasn't even needed. Because when a poor person is on the phone, they yell so much it seems like they want the other person to hear them from far away. It's such a loud noise that they could be organizing a funeral, but it sounds more like there's a fight going on. Wealthy people use face towels, bath towels, liquid soap, and enjoy hot showers, but poor people also have hot showers. The only difference is the rich person knows they'll survive the shower, right? The poor person is always under the protection of their guardian angel because at any moment they could get shocked and die naked in the bathroom. And poor people don't have towels. No, a poor person's towel is any cloth that's dry. I've dried off with jeans, underwear, even a sheet, then slept with it. In my defense, it was really hot. Poor people often live with broken things. For instance, having a 5-burner stove but only one working. There's a decorative light bulb in the backyard that's been burned out for 3 years and never replaced. The fan works, but to turn it on, you have to spin the blades by hand first to give it a little help. A poor person won't replace something as long as it works. They'll only buy a new one when it can't be fixed anymore. He'll pay in 200 installments on a relative's credit card since his own credit is bad. If you made it this far, comment poor. For more rich versus poor videos, like and subscribe. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.
It's 1 volt.